Good morning, this is Dominic with TheBackVlog. Robin has the zoomies right now. Robin, do you got the zoomies right now?
Do you got the zoomies right now?
Yesterday I finished the first Metroid Prime game in the Metroid Prime trilogy on the... Excuse me, I burped a little bit. On the Nintendo Wii. I've really liked Metroid Prime a lot. But I guess before I start talking about the things that I like, I'm going to start talking about the things that I don't, because I want to get that out of the way. And it is by no means Metroid Prime's fault. I have a very old Wii remote, and the sensor, the IR, like the whatever, I don't know if it's IR or something else, but it is very spotty, you know, like it's like controller drift, where like, you know, you get stick drift, but like it's like controller jolt, where like, you know, I'm controlling the Wii remote and like sometimes it'll just go like, I'm like, stop, please, I'm trying to play Metroid Prime. It was really abysmal at parts. Some of the boss fights were made completely abysmal because of that. But that is by no means the game's fault. I just needed to get that frustration out of the way, because most of my frustrations, not all of them, but most of them, came from my hardware, which is by no means the software's fault. Metroid Prime was really good. I'm glad I'm finally playing some of these classics. I said this in my Pikmin 4 video, but I really wish that I grew up more with Nintendo games. Like I had Mario games, and Smash Brothers, like at Brawl, and so on. I didn't really have a lot of Nintendo stuff. I was a PlayStation 2 kid, so I never had a GameCube. I never grew up with any of the GameCube games like Metroid or Pikmin. And, you know, I feel like I really missed out because, like, you know, the way that these games are designed are so fun and so rewarding, and so imaginative. There's a lot of intrinsic reward to progressing through this. You know, obviously you're getting, like, your abilities and everything, but, you know, it's also just learning the tidbits of information and the tiny bits of world building in the descriptions of like the enemies and the environments, and like the pirate data logs and everything. The way that this story is told is really similar to what Outer Wilds would go on to perfect. Metroid Prime so close scratched the itch that I've been trying to fill since playing Outer Wilds. It didn't quite get there, and I'm so sad that it didn't, and I really hope 2 or 3 or even 4, whenever that comes out. I'll talk about that a little bit later. I really hope that one of those games, like, can fill the void that Outer Wilds left in me. Because that is an irreplaceable experience. But another irreplaceable experience, besides the second and third entry and possibly the fourth entry of this franchise, is the first entry of this franchise, Metroid Prime. I really like the music in this, you know, like a lot of it's like, it's really groovy. Like some of the songs in here are like really like there's so much attitude in the way that the drums are played. It's like, it just makes you feel cool. It makes you feel like a spy. But then there's like the other like ethereal sounding stuff. I really like listening to like video game music, and some of these tracks in here, specifically the Phendrana Drifts track and I don't know what other track this is, but it's like the track that plays from the frigate crash site to the Phazon mines. That stretch that is played there where you're like floating through the water and everything, those things are so serene, and those are the type of things that like I will like throw on a playlist, video game music wise, I mean, because that's the kind of stuff that like I come back to retro video game music for. You know, I'm always listening to like PS2 music compilations. You know, I missed the boat on a lot of old Nintendo music too. I didn't really miss the boat, I'm just late to it. I'm just late to the boat. And there's like a lot of other tracks in here that are really like, they're kind of like Aphex Twin-esque. I don't really know how to describe them. They're just kind of, they're just neat. They're really neat. I don't know how to describe them. They sound like Aphex Twin. Traversal in the game is really fun. Like when you start to put together your suit bit by bit, and you start to unlock some of the more some of the other areas. I think I kind of understand like the whole Metroidvania craze now. I know like Metroid Prime is more of like an exploratory first-person shooter, but it has elements of what I understand a Metroidvania is as well, where you know, the Metroidvanias being like the 2D platformers with parts of the level inaccessible until you unlock a part, and then you're gonna have to come check it out later. Whenever you unlock a new piece of equipment, something clicks, and you're like, oh, that's what I need to go back here and do this now. It's like the places that you have that you can't go to yet, you kind of like, you just kind of like put in the back of your mind, and then whenever they become accessible, when you unlock a new piece of equipment, it's like, it's so rewarding to connect the dots together. That is a genre that I really want to get into as well, the Metroidvanias. I really haven't done anything with that yet, so maybe eventually, but yeah, traversal and exploration in this game are really cool. I will say though that some of the boss fights, and this also possibly could be because of my Wii Remote mishaps, but I think even without that, some of those boss fights are really really frustrating. The Meta Ridley boss fight is kind of ridiculous, and it's not that it's like kind of ridiculous, it's just that like it's not like, it's hard, but your damage output is like so little that you can't even tell if you're making progress or not, which I guess isn't really like a bad thing, you know, like Souls games have that aspect too, but at least Souls games give you like numerical progress, numerical feedback. But with this, it's like, did a sliver of health come off of him, or did I miss, or what's going on here? That took me a good 2 tries, but my second try I was sweating. I had 9 health left, and I got him. That's how close I was. I liked the Metroid Prime fight, but I mean, this is also probably just like a hardware thing too, but you know, it's constantly switching between the 3 visions, the types of vision that you can see, either like the regular or the infrared or the X-ray vision, and it's really difficult to you know, pin him down, especially if your Wii Remote is like jolting everywhere. But you know, I think it's also really obnoxious whenever boss fights give you, or they throw at you basically pawns or drones or whatever to do their bidding, and they're basically just there to distract you. That's what it would do with the Metroids at the end during that second phase. That's really obnoxious. I did not like that aspect at all. The Phendrana Drifts boss fight, I didn't dislike it, and I really don't know if this was intentional or not, but you know, because that's the fight where you unlock the, I guess it's not really infrared, it's more of like a heat signature vision, but you know, you have to use that for that fight, but like he's like blinding you all the time, and I don't know if like the game glitched or what, but there was one point where, you know, everything was just like bright. It was like super bright, and by the time I finished the fight, because it took a little while too, because I don't remember. I think I ran out of rockets, and I think that's actually an interesting detail. When you run out of rockets and you're fighting an enemy that only can take rockets as damage, rather than locking you out and waiting for you to die to basically farm more rockets, the game actually lets you deal damage with other things outside of rockets after you run out of them. So I mean, that's really nice. That's only ever happened to me like twice. I was always like stressing over that, and then whenever I realized that, I was like, okay, so I still stand a chance. Then I don't have to die here. By the time I was finished with that boss, the Fendrana Drifts boss, like, because my screen is like a bright white, like almost the whole time. My eyes, and I'm sure like Samus's eyes in the game, in the world of the game, they were hurting. They were probably bloodshot. I felt like I was staring at the sun for 20 minutes, and I was playing that part at like 9 p.m. So like, it's like night out. It's like I have the light on, but it's like it's dark outside, and it's just like I have to go to bed, but now I can't because my brain is so wired. The Metroid Prime trilogy on the Wii, as you progress through the games, they give you these tokens that you can spend at the bonus gallery. And I was spending some of those tokens yesterday because you can unlock like concept art and stuff like that. But I don't know what they did, but there's like a backlight or something on those gallery pieces, and you can barely see the art, like the concept art, and I think that aspect of it's not the game. This is the Wii collection I'm talking about now, but I think that aspect is really like poorly implemented, and like when you zoom in, you can only zoom in so close, and the resolution of these things is really low, because you're zooming in, but you can't tell like what's written, and with the backlight you can't even like see the detail. I think it really defeats the purpose of the concept art gallery, because like those things are to admire the art, like every single detail of it, and the fact that it's being held back by technical limitations is kind of ridiculous. I'm glad that as I play through these games, I don't really have anything else to say. I'm just kind of rambling at this point now. I guess to talk about this release a little bit more, it comes in this fancy steelbook, which is really neat. It's got the manual, but like another thing it has, and this manual this is a hefty manual too. It's got information for all the Metroid Primes. It also has this Criterion-esque like essay. Oh, actually, you know what? No, it's like a history of Metroid Prime. But on the back here is concept art that you can actually see and actually consume. And that's really neat. This game nowadays is not very cheap, but you're getting 3 games for the price of 3 games. So yeah, I don't know. It's I think it's a good deal nowadays. I don't really have anything else to say. Metroid Prime, it's good. Yeah.